Howdy everyone, welcome back to another weekend episode of Cooking with Mary Sue. Before we begin, I want to remind everybody to please hit the like and subscribe and share buttons down at the bottom. I'll have links below to my other channels, Brother Claude Reflects, Susie Q Knickknacks, and Garden in the Delta. And a link to my new website for my book I wrote last year. The website is called AnimalsLiftOurSpirits.com. The book is available on Amazon, eBay, Barnes & Noble, iTunes. It was published by Christian Faith Publishing House last year. Cute little story about our outside cat named Miss Kitty. You can see the real Miss Kitty on our gardening channel. She's on a lot of the videos on there. She's outside with us a lot when we're doing stuff. Okay, this weekend it's going to get cold again. The last few days have been gorgeous, up in the 70s, low 70s, but it's been rainy. And now this weekend it's going to be down below freezing. So it's time for some nice warm stew. I'm going to make a chicken stew, or you might call it chicken soup. It's going to be nice and creamy and thick. What I did this weekend, a few days ago, I took out some frozen chicken breast out of the freezer, boneless, skinless. As you know from my past videos, I do not like to debone chicken. So I often buy the boneless, skinless chicken breast and just put them in the freezer and take them out when I need them. I took 2 out. I cooked them and then I chopped them up or diced them up a little piece. I have 2 cups here now. It's much easier to dice your chicken after it's cooked rather than trying to dice it up when it's raw. Okay, let's get started here. As you can see here, I'm going to attempt to make this stew, chicken soup, in my nice large new skillet I showed on my last video. It's a 5-quart, so I think there'll be plenty of room to make this. We'll find out. I'm going to take 1 stick of butter here. It's on medium-high at the moment. Okay. It won't take too long for the butter to start to melt. I always keep chopped up frozen vegetables just for this reason in the freezer. I took out a bag of diced up celery. This is probably about, hard to guess, probably about at least 2 ribs of celery. I thaw them out for a few seconds in the microwave so they're not frozen still. Try to mix them with this butter until they get nice and soft. Now I know some people like to add to their chicken soup or chicken dishes other vegetables like sweet peas and carrots. Well, I don't use those myself because my husband's not allowed to eat those on his diet. And I think it would be good to have some broccoli florets in this, but he's not too crazy about broccoli florets either, so I'm not going to put those in. For now, I'm just going to put the celery, and actually in my little bowl of soup, when it's done later, just in my bowl, I'm just going to add myself a little can of sweet peas and carrots just for me. That's why I keep these little ones on hand, just for me, just for myself to use from it, since he can't eat it. I can add those to my bowl. Well, I'm not going to add it to the whole pot here. This is on medium-high. This butter is melting nice. As you see, the celery is nice and tender. We can't see it. I can feel it. It's nice and tender. That's the butter melted. Now I'm going to add, I have a 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to blend this in. I might have to add just a little more than a 1/3 cup because since the celery was frozen, it's got a little extra water in it. A little more than if I had used the regular fresh celery. Kind of spread this all around. Okay, I'm just going to stir this in. This will help thicken it up. As you see, when I'm using my non-stick pans, I always try to use either a wooden spoon or a plastic. You don't ever want to use a metal utensil in your non-stick items. That would just scratch them up. Oh, that's thick enough. I don't think I'll need more flour. I can see it getting thick. Now this is taking a little quicker than usual to make this recipe because I did prepare my chicken a couple days ago, so that helped. So this is an easy, quick recipe to throw together. Now I'm going to add 2 cans of chicken broth, and right here I have a half a cup of 2% milk mixed with a half a cup of whipping cream, whole whipping cream. If you don't have whipping cream at hand, you can use half and half, either one. But I only had the whipping cream on hand today, so that's what I'm using. That's going to help thicken it up. And here's a little chicken broth. There's 1 can. There's 2 cans. 2 cans chicken broth. I'll just keep letting this stir around. I don't feel any lumps in it, which is good. You don't want your flour to get lumpy in there. It mixed up very nice. Going to turn this up, let it come to a boil a little bit. I will turn up on high. As it boils, this will get a little bit thicker. I just wanted to show you, if you happen to feel any lumps in there, which I don't from the flour, you could use, I have a rubber whisk here. This is good for your non-stick utensils. It's not metal, so it won't scratch. This is doing fine. I can feel it getting thick without getting lumpy. This only takes about 2 or 3 minutes for this to get thick. Now we're ready to add our pasta. You can add any type of pasta you like. Egg noodles would be great, but today I'm out of egg noodles, so I chose another pasta. I'm going to use bow tie for a change. I had several pastas in my pantry. Rotini, macaroni, spaghetti, bow tie, a couple others, but I just didn't have egg noodles, so I won't use them today. I measured out, here's my bow tie box right here. As you can see, that's just Walmart brand, 12-ounce box. I'm using about half a box. This is a 2-cup container here. I'm going to let these cook in here. It's on high so it can boil a little bit. You might want to cook these al dente, which means they're a little more than half done. They're a little bit hard, a little crunchy to them, but I'm not. I like all my pastas to be nice and soft and tender. So is my husband. So I'm going to cook these probably 6-7 minutes till they get nice and tender. I love this new saute pan I bought a couple weeks ago. Nice little present for my birthday from my son. I bought the small little egg skillet 8-inch that goes with it. This was called a saute pan on the label, 5-quart saute pan, but actually I just called it, when I was growing up, we called it a chicken fryer because it's nice and deep. The sides come up straight, and the handle is coated so it doesn't, I can touch the handle, hold it, and it's not hot. I love that. And this little handle on this side, it's just barely warm. I can still touch it, but this bigger handle is nice and cool to the touch. You can see it's bubbling good. This pasta will be done in about 5 more minutes. Well, I think we're about ready to add the last of the ingredients here. While this was bubbling and cooking, I did wind up adding another half a cup of 2% milk. It was getting a little too thick for my taste. I wanted it creamy, but not thick. There is a difference between that. I think it was getting too thick because I did use heavy whipping cream as opposed to using half and half. Whipping cream is thicker. But it's just like I want it right now, nice and creamy, without being overly thick. And the noodles are just done enough like I like them. Now I'm going to add in the chicken. There. I'm going to turn it down a little bit on medium-low at the moment. And I'm going to add some cheese now. I've got a little over, well, it's a cup and a half of shredded. I'm using Fiesta blend. Let me show you. This is giving it just a little bit of a tangy taste. Not much, just barely. Fiesta blend. It's a blend of Monterey Jack, cheddar, queso, and asadero cheese. Now, it would also be great for you to use sharp cheddar in here. But today, I'm out of sharp cheddar, so I'm using my Fiesta. Sometimes you just have to make do with what you have on hand and compensate for it. We're going to heat this up until all that cheese melts in here. I got it down on medium low. I'll do it a little bit lower. It won't take too long for this cheese to melt because this is already very hot in here. And then we're going to add a little salt and pepper to taste. Oh, this is looking good and smelling great. Nice thick chicken pasta stew. Now, it's like I said, a little salt and pepper. I'm not measuring, just adding a little bit in. You know about how much you like to your dishes. Let this simmer a little bit on low, and it's ready to go. And it didn't take long at all for that cheese to melt. Doesn't that look nice and creamy? Now, if this is a little thicker than you want it to be, you can, like I said, just add a little bit more milk to it. You could add a little more chicken broth, but I don't really want to make it too thin. I think this is just right. It's a nice, thick cup of stew. See there? It's going to be delicious for night. Probably serve this with some of my cornbread he likes. He likes my cornbread with any type of soup and stew I make. Let me see. Tastes delicious. Like I said, in my bowl, I'm going to add the little sweet peas and carrots. And I still think some broccoli would be good in this. I have to do that next time and make some with broccoli. Well, there you have it. There's my supper for tonight, and probably the next couple of nights for us. Nice pan full of creamy chicken noodle stew. Gonna call this a wrap. Hope y'all have a nice weekend, and it's only one more week to Christmas now. Hope y'all are ready. I'm all ready. Don't have any more presents to buy. I'm all decorated out. I'm all done with that. I can just relax now for next week and take it easy. And I'll be back next weekend. Happy cooking. Bye, y'all.